In this video, I'm going to talk about how you can assess your own writing using the categories in the writing criteria. From your assessment, you'll develop a plan to grow and strengthen your writing. You'll carry out your plan throughout the semester, occasionally updating your professor and group. At the end of the semester, you'll make a presentation to the class about your writing development. You could also write an essay about this journey for your portfolio. I'm asking you to use the categories from the writing criteria for a number of reasons. First, I want you to become familiar with the categories by working with them. Second, I want you to understand the categories. When you look at them, they seem straightforward, but there's more to them than what first appears. Once we begin to delve into them, most students have questions about the meanings of the categories. Working with them will help your understanding. Finally, I find these categories cover many of the most important elements of academic writing. And if you can improve in these categories, you'll be much better prepared for the types of writing that await you in the future. A note about the categories. As I speak about them individually, keep in mind they work together as a group. If one category seems to blend into another, they're supposed to. We designed the writing criteria that way. The first category is response to the assignment or task. This category can be one of the most challenging for students because it measures not only the writing on the page, but your effort and thoughtfulness in carrying out the assignment. So, what do you do to get better in this category? The first thing you do is practice. As you fulfill your weekly class assignments, you'll have the opportunity to practice building strong responses to writing tasks. The stronger your weekly responses, the stronger your portfolio essays, because your portfolio essays will be built on your weekly assignments. Strong responses are thorough, include more than one perspective or way of thinking, and indicate an investment of time by the writer. The second thing you do is cultivate your passion for what you're writing. It is your responsibility as a writer to find a way into the writing tasks so your voice is present, clear, and strong. Most assignments are flexible enough for you to address the task and also have your own take or perspective, but it requires deep thinking so you have something to say. The next category is quality and clarity of thought. Generating thoughtful, easy to understand writing is a challenge all writers face repeatedly as long as they write. You will always need to work on this category. Working on this category means avoiding simple thinking. Simple thinking is what most of us present in our first drafts, the first thing that comes to mind. To avoid simple thinking, you must rethink and revise your writing. To rethink, you will need to reread, research, and talk to others about your topic. To revise, you will need to write more, but eliminate writing that is not necessary. A tall order, but that covers the quality part of the category. There's also the clarity of thinking part of the category, which can be a greater challenge. Sometimes students have great ideas, but express them poorly in their writing. To improve, a writer needs readers he or she trusts and who will not be shy to tell them when something in the writing is confusing or unclear. Forming a small writing peer group or meeting regularly with a writing center tutor or your instructor are ways to improve your clarity. If you prefer to work by yourself, make videos of yourself reading your writing. When you watch them back, you can tell what is not clear by the way you read it. All writers should read their writing out loud. The third category, organization, development, and support, covers a great deal of writing territory. Let's take organization first. Organization can apply to the sentence, paragraph, or essay level of writing. Organization has to do with how parts of a sentence, paragraph, or essay connect to other parts. To work on your organization means working to make stronger connections between the parts of your writing. In order to do this, you must have a strong controlling idea, what some may call a thesis or a main idea. This controlling idea is like a tent pole, holding all the parts of your writing together and causing your organization to make sense. Effective development also depends on the controlling idea, because the controlling idea tells the reader how fleshed out the writing should be. Development also has to do with length. Responses that are too short are underdeveloped. Responses that are too long are poorly organized because they should have been more carefully edited. Support dovetails with development and organization. Specifically, support is about showing examples in your writing. Have you ever had someone say about your writing, "Show, don't tell"? That saying applies to support. Are you showing what you mean in your writing with examples and details? Practicing this with the weekly assignments is one way to grow in these areas. Research, the fourth category, has two parts: the form, how you mix the source with your writing, and the content, what the source adds to your discussion. The form presents students with a number of challenges. Many times they present too many quotes, or quotes are too long, or quotes should be turned into paraphrases. Paraphrases are also a problem when they are not effectively cited and misinterpreted. The way you fit the source in your writing is an important skill to learn. Second is the content, which is where you show your critical judgment about your sources. Even if your source form works, but the source doesn't say anything worthwhile, your reader will be frustrated. One way to make sure you're using effective sources is to use the ones I give you or ones similar to mine. To get better at the form, there are a number of online materials you can investigate. The Purdue OWL is one place to start. The next category is control of language, style, and sentence variety. This category may be one of the ones you best understand. Because this category is about forms we use to present our ideas, there are many ways to work on it. Just to begin, you could craft plans to strengthen word choices, address issues such as cohesion, conciseness, and clarity, and learn to use a wider variety of sentence forms in your writing. Online writing labs are helpful with this task because they offer explanations and strategies for how to work on these concerns. I like both the Purdue OWL and Duke Thompson Writing Program handouts. Another way, or a complementary way, to work on this task would be to meet weekly with a Writing Center tutor to improve your language, style, and sentence variety. If that's something that you're interested in doing, speak with me to arrange it. The final category is grammar, usage, and mechanics. This is the category that includes concerns about incomplete and run-on sentences, irregular syntax, spelling, capitalization, punctuation, and other errors. For most of you, this is the category you're most familiar with because of your previous schooling. Well, that's good news. The bad news is that these errors will continue unless you choose to work on solving the problem. You must teach yourself how to avoid the error. Work in this area begins with identifying your consistent errors, learning the rules that apply to those errors, then practicing again and again to put the rules in place when you write. Eventually, your brain will absorb the idea, and you may even come to understand the rule, although most are arbitrary and come from the 17th and 18th century. Fortunately, there is help to be found both online through the many online writing labs and in person through the Writing Center tutors. Now it's your turn to assess your writing using the 6 categories. On your individual learning blog, post a discussion of your writing using the writing criteria's 6 categories. Show examples of strengths and weaknesses in each of the categories. Follow this post with a second discussing how you intend to grow and strengthen your writing over the semester. Important points to keep in mind: your project is semester long. You select how many and which categories you want to work on. You will get feedback on your project plan. You will make a presentation to the class about what you did at the end of the semester. If you have questions about the categories or need help with ideas, ask. I look forward to reviewing your plan.